Hey everyone, it's a beautiful Friday. I'm in Des Moines, Iowa for a softball tournament, but those beautiful faces are back in Minnesota. I don't know what Minnesota's weather looks like, but I'm guessing it's sunny. Reggie has a sunny smile. Sam has a sunny smile. I'm Ron Johnson. That's Sam Ekstrom. That's Reggie Wilson. This is Locked On Sports Minnesota, and this is the Friday Roundtable. We're going to jump into some cool topics. I mean, Kirk Cousins is on Netflix. Anthony Edwards got more money, more money, more money, more money. But we got to get locked in on these topics. So, Sam, what you got for me today?
Yeah, I think we got to talk about Anthony Edwards after he signed an extension, making some bold predictions about what would make this season a success. We'll talk about whether they're realistic.
Reggie, what you got?
And the QB tiers list that CBS Sports put out is in some ways egregious.
Egregious. Yeah, there was a QB's list that came out. So we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about the Twins after the All-Star break. I said before the All-Star break, I thought they were going to lose first place. I was hoping it didn't happen, but I'm going to put some money on something in FanDuel because I'm down here in Iowa. I know there's some over-unders for the Vikings. There's some over-unders for the Packers. So I'm going to make sure I take care of FanDuel while I'm down here in Iowa and put that bet in because I'm betting on the Vikings on the over and I'm betting on the Packers on the under. But we have to talk about, I mean, there's a lot of sports figures in the state of Minnesota. You got college sports, you got high school, or yeah, you got high school. I mean, come on now, Mike Grant, Bud Grant, you got high school figures in the state. At one point, you had Jalen Suggs as a high school player. So when we put him in this list, we're going to talk about the trendiest Minnesota sports figures right now in the state of Minnesota. Well, you know what? We got to get started with the show. Let's talk about the QB tiers. We got to talk about the QB tiers for CBS Sports. I know where Reggie's going with it because I thought there was some mischievousness within these lists, and you have to understand where they're going to go with this list. I'm going to start with you, Reggie. What you got?
Okay, so this tier 2 is like, okay, I respect it, but respectfully, how do you have Aaron Rodgers in tier 3 and you put Trevor Lawrence? Like, what has Trevor Lawrence accomplished up until this point to have him in the tier 2 right under Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen? Like this list is crazy. Then you got Kirk Cousins in tier 4 and you put Justin Fields and Tua in tier 3 along with Daniel Jones. Like this list is crazy. And then they have Kenny Pickett, Mac and Cheese, and Brock Purdy in tier 5. And then they put Kyler Murray in the same tier as Jordan Love and Baker Mayfield, Desmond Ridder. Like, I don't know what Will
Shots
Brinson.
fired.
Yeah, I don't know what Will Brinson was thinking. I don't know if he was under the influence when he did this list or if he has some biases against some of these quarterbacks. But this is just quite egregious. You put a former MVP, only 2 years removed from an MVP, and Aaron Rodgers below Trevor Lawrence. Like I can even argue with the Jalen Hurts thing being in tier 2. He just took the Eagles to the Super Bowl. But that list was crazy.
Yeah, I think if you switched tier 3 and tier 4, it would almost be better, right? Because tier 3, you've got Tua, Fields, Daniel Jones, Deshaun Watson, Russell Wilson, Stafford and Rodgers probably belong. And then tier 4, you've got Prescott, Geno Smith, comeback player of the year, Kirk Cousins, Ryan Tannehill, Derek Carr, Jimmy Garoppolo, and Jared Goff. You could easily switch those, and I would have said, okay, yeah, it's a little weird, but that's fine. Aaron Rodgers is probably the most polarizing. Like, I've seen him ranked all over the place. Like, Justin Jefferson had him second, right, on his quarterback list, and people don't know what to make of him because he did regress a little bit last year. Now he's switching teams. What do we make of Aaron Rodgers? And they've got him in tier 3, which honestly, I think I would still put him in 2. I think I'd put him over Lawrence, certainly. I'd put him over Herbert, and probably over Lamar Jackson. I think that he's still a top 5 QB in this league.
Yeah, I like both of your ideas. Here's the thing. I think Jalen Hurts got disrespected. I think Jalen Hurts should be in tier 1. I don't understand. Like, you look at Patrick Mahomes, Burrow, and Josh Allen. None of them can do what Jalen Hurts can do, which is run the ball. Jalen Hurts can throw the ball like they do. I think too often, and you look back, and Michael Vick talked about this, too often running quarterbacks get screwed. And Lamar Jackson, come on now, we screwed him for years because he's a running quarterback, but he's still winning games. And so with Jalen Hurts getting to a Super Bowl and not being above these guys that have never been to a Super Bowl, I think that was disrespectful. I think Kirk Cousins being in tier 4 below Justin Fields is absolute. I love the word egregious. I'm going to say asinine. That is an asinine take to put Justin Fields in front of Kirk Daniel Cousins. KDC has to come out with the chains on, show up to Will Brinson's office like one of those ESPN commercials with Calvin Johnson, and just turn into a transformer, because this is a ridiculous. Like, at first I was like, oh, okay, I get it. I honestly, truly believe. Now, there's the thing, and we all know this. I think a lot of these writers create these lists so they can end up getting talked about on Twitter and get the buzz. And they do this dumb stuff. Like Justin Fields being in tier 3. I don't care who else is up there, but Justin Fields, this should not be. And the only reason I think Russell Wilson is still up there is because of his coach. He has a new coach, so people think he might be able to come back. But honestly, I think his legs are getting a little bit tired, a little bit weak, but we get it. He's married to Sierra, whose legs wouldn't be weak. I mean, come on now.
Sir.
Like,
Wow, family show.
Sir.
But
Sir.
I'm just saying.
He's
He can't take a 5-step drop anymore. He needs to keep it to 3 steps. He needs to tell Sean Payton, hey, I got quick game in me. I got maybe a 5-step, but that 7-step coach in a hitch, I don't really got that, because Sierra took that 1-2 step and I had to get that to her. So I don't really have that no more, coach. Like, I'm at home doing TikToks. I'm at home being a daddy and a husband. Like, I'm trying to go to
He's got to
award
walk
shows
around
and
to
get
the
my
14
swag up.
bathrooms in that house. His legs are probably so exhausted.
Exactly. And he's not Mr. Unlimited anymore. He's limited. He's limited. So I don't feel like he should be up there in tier 3 over Kirk Cousins either. Now, the one thing I will say, Kyler Murray, I mean, everybody was saying last year Kyler Murray was a top 10 quarterback, and now look, he's not even in nobody's talking about him. But here's a question for both of you. We're gonna get one quick one on this topic, then we're gonna move on. If you guys were to look at this list and you had to pick a player, you only get one player for sure that you're gonna put $1,000 on with FanDuel to say they're gonna play better than their tier this season, who would you put money on?
I think I go Kirk Cousins. It's a contract year for him. I know that's kind of like the easy answer, but yeah, like whenever the pressure is on, he seems to just ball out. Like he's not a stranger to these contract years. He did it in Washington, got himself a lot of money in Minnesota. I think he's ready to ball out again. I think some things that we've seen in the quarterback special, he's very cerebral, sometimes overly obsessive over things, but like I think second year in this offense, he's going to find some magic this year again, even more so than last year, and I think he outplays that tier for sure.
I think the guy that really got disrespected based on performance is Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy has never lost a start, has he? I don't think he has. 13 touchdowns, 4 picks last year for a very good 49ers team. If he's their quarterback, he certainly performed above a tier 5 level last year. So if he just is the same guy, you got to put him up probably in tier 3 the way he played last year. So I think that was also a big piece of disrespect. And Ron, I just want to tell you, once you watch Kirk Cousins on this documentary on Netflix, he will be a tier 1 quarterback for you. He is such an overwhelming winner of that show. You are going to love it.
Is all 6 episodes uploaded?
It's all out there. It's actually 8 episodes. 8. Yeah.
Okay.
It's all out.
Yeah. I mean, I will say I have my iPad. I might download a couple episodes before I head to the field because I know we have a break today. We play at 9:40 and then we don't have another game till like 2. So maybe I'll sit at the ballpark because we're going to watch some games or some teams we want to scout and watch. But maybe I'll pop on a little Netflix while I'm sitting in the shade somewhere. Because and then tonight maybe, because I know last night we stayed up a little later than we should have. Parents are probably regretting that right now. We went to Smash Park. They played a little pickleball. They had a little pickleball tournament for the girls. So they had a real good fun time last night. So, but yeah, I am going to download it because I mean, you come on now, you know, I'm a Kirk Cousins guy, but there's a lot of Netflix stuff out there. I mean, there's not a Netflix promotion, but the Lincoln Lawyer, I don't know if you guys ever saw the Lincoln Lawyer movie.
Yeah,
but
I have seen that.
We're on that. We're a few episodes into this new season.
Yes, Reggie, yes. So yeah, I just saw that this morning. I just saw the commercial. I'm like, wait a minute, the Lincoln Lawyer Part 2 is back.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I got to say that because I know my wife wants to watch the Lincoln Lawyer, so I can't watch that. I mean, Reggie, you know, well, Sam, you're married too, but Sam, you don't watch movies. But Reggie, you know how that goes. Like you kind of want to watch it without the wife, but then you're like, wait a minute, I told her we watch this together. So
it's why we're only 2 episodes into quarterback because she wants to watch too. So I'm like, dang.
But then you watch it, but then you got to fake watch it with her like you never seen it before. Like,
act all surprised. Wow, what a twist!
What? I can't believe they lost that game. Wow.
Like, who knew the Colts were going to lose that? Man, I thought the Colts were about to win that one.
Hey, fellas, real quick. Who is this dude next to Jordan Love on the in between him and Kyler Murray? Who is that?
Is that Sam Howell?
Sam Howell from the Washington football team, Commanders.
Okay.
Right. They put Sam.
Right.
Now, there's the thing about Sam Howell. I'm not going to let you disrespect Sam Howell. Sam Howell was a great quarterback in college. He ended up with a piss poor situation with Washington where they were trying to figure out who the quarterback was. So I think what they're giving him, this is my take, because I watched this on TV too when we were talking about this. They are trying to say this guy gets the start from the very beginning with the offensive weapons that they've acquired and the way the offense is supposed to look with the run game. He's not going to have to do a ton. So I think that's part of that. They just threw him up there because they're saying he's better than the rookies, but he's not a rookie. So I think, and again, of course, people put these lists out and then we get the context later because this is what they want. My guess is, because I remember this happened before, Sam, I think tier 7 is probably just rookies unproven. Tier 6 is probably make or break it guys. Like, you know, if you make it, you can jump tiers. If you're not, you're probably out the league. Because that's what that tier feels like to me. Like Jordan Love is make or break it, Baker Mayfield, Ritter, Howe, and that's why Kyler Murray, to me, that's disrespect. To put him in that group, you're basically saying, Kyler, get it done now or you're done. You got to go back to baseball, which if I'm him, I'm going back to baseball. Like, baseball contracts right now are stupid dumb. And if he was as good as they say he was in the outfield and with his bat, I'm going over there with the Kyler Murray. But we spend a lot of time on these quarterbacks. Let's jump over to your topic, Sam. What you got?
In just a second, I'm going to tell you about Anthony Edwards' kind of wild statements at Summer League. But before we get into that, I do want to tell folks about Birddogs. It was a monumental day yesterday at the Ekstrom household. You know why? Because my Birddogs got here. I got a box at the door with my shipment of Birddogs. First of all, the box is great. Easy to open, makes you laugh. They got some funny quotes on there. And we talk about power rankings on this show, right? Well, these are the new power rankings of my comfortable lounge pants. It is Birddogs #1, and it's everything else below that, and that includes Lululemons. These things are so comfortable. I'm wearing them right now, hugging my leg, keeping me warm, keeping me fresh. That liner that everyone talks about, a lot of hubbub about the liner. The liner is awesome. You definitely want to get the liner. I've got my Birddogs. I did a little fashion show last night. My wife thinks I look great, and you can too with the shorts, with the pants as well. These pants are called the Gabe Ruths, and that's because I am the Sultan of no sweat with that cloud knit fabric that looks just like khaki but stretches, so you get that slim fit look, sacrificing no movement. Anti-stink sweat wicking fabric, keeps you cool and dry. So you can look like me wearing Birddogs by going to birddogs.com/lockedon, enter promo code LOCKEDON, and you also get a free Yeti style tumbler with your order. birddogs.com/lockedon, promo code LOCKEDON, free Yeti style tumbler with your order. You're not going to take your Birddogs off. I'm certainly not at all today or this weekend.
I need to go to the porch. I haven't seen my Birddogs, Sam.
I mean, I'm not trying to promote Yeti or anything, but I mean, hey, if you want a nice little Yeti cup like this, I mean, softball dad, Get some bird dogs, people. Birddogs.com/locked on. And I'm not saying you'll get this tumbler. I haven't looked at them yet, but you'll get a tumbler. And these things are, I mean, I've had this ice in here all night. I put it in last night before I went to bed. Ice is still in there. So get a free Yeti and bird dogs. Come on, people. You got to do this. This is not hard to do. But Sam, what you got?
All right. Anthony Edwards signed a massive contract extension. We're all very happy about it. I think that the Cat hot takes, though, might have been contagious because Cat's been saying some crazy things, and then Anthony Edwards got up there, and this is what he said would make the season a success. Cat wins MVP. Rudy wins Defensive Player of the Year. And this one's harder to measure, but Jaden McDaniels becomes the league's best defender and shoots 40% from three. So maybe that one's possible. But guys, on the crazy scale or most unlikely scale, what do we make of these proclamations from Ant?
Well, first of all, I want to say what's his role in this? Like, what is he gonna win? Like, I'm very confused by this because normally they would say, like, I have to be this, I have to be that. Because I understand being a team player. But I feel like he missed a step in this team. Like, team player, yes, but then what's my role in this? Am I going to be the leader? Am I going to be the captain? Or am I just turning this team over? I got $260 million, but I'm turning the team over to Cat to be MVP. So for me, I'm missing something in there. I know he's trying to be a team guy and get the rah-rah camaraderie together. I think defensive player of the year, I think he can have it for Gobert because if he bounces back, knows he has Jaden McDaniels back, knows what kind of defender Jaden McDaniels can be. Rudy can now just block. Cat can stay out of his way because a lot of times they were getting in each other's way. MVP for Cat, I don't see it happening. There's too many other scorers in this league, and this has become a scoring type of deal. It's not just an overall award anymore. It's become a flashy scorer type, like Kevin Durant. I don't know if you guys saw that. Kevin Durant got into it with Ryan Davis, the comedian. Don't get into it with a comedian ever. Like, he flamed Kevin Durant with his hairline, his lack of waves, his inability to win, his willingness to join another team, and then going to another team as a scorer, still can't win his championship. And honestly, Ryan Davis, as a comedian, it was funny, but he put up a lot of stats about champions. The last, like, whatever number of champions and MVPs up, they were all, like, on the top defensive, like, all-team defense list. So if Jaden McDaniels can get on that list, or sorry, not Jaden McDaniels. Jaden McDaniels. If he can get on that list, if Rudy Gobert's on that list, if Anthony Edwards all of a sudden becomes a Michael Jordan type defender, then I can see that. But I think the other stuff he listed is less likely to happen. I think Rudy winning defensive player of the year, that can happen.
Reg, what do you think?
I think it's interesting that you sign a $260 million contract and then you say that somebody else is going to win MVP. I just don't know how that like correlates, but he's a young dude, 21 years old. Like, I just kind of attribute this to his youth because he did the interview with Grady and said that he wants to be the best shooting guard of all time. Like, he wants to be in the conversation as one of the best players in the NBA. But then you give Cat the MVP. Like, I don't know how those two really go together, but I think fans would love to see Rudy Gobert be the defensive player of the year. And also, I think the Timberwolves will love that as well because you know what? I don't think they, in their heart of hearts, really want to have to do away with Cat and part with him. But if Rudy somehow becomes the defensive player of the year, now all of a sudden maybe there's a little bit more like trade value there for Rudy Gobert. Maybe you can recoup a little bit of what you gave up because going into the season after this one, when you have a max contract of Cat, Ant, and then you got Rudy, and then you got to pay Jaden McDaniels as well. Like, they are not going to be able to keep all those guys with this second apron thing happening with the new CBA. And so somebody's going to have to go. But if we see that happen, that could be awesome. Where I think is interesting too is he thinks that Jaden McDaniels is going to be one of the best defenders in the league or the best defender in the league. But then Rudy wins Defensive Player of the Year as well. Like, those two also don't really correlate. I can see Jaden McDaniels maybe being the most improved player of the year in next season if he's shooting 40% from three. So it's interesting. The whole thing is just very interesting. I think Anna's just trying to say what he thinks he should say, but we saw it in the playoffs when he takes over the team. Like maybe you put him in that MVP conversation and not Cat.
Right.
So I think that all three of those predictions, if those players played to their utmost potential, I think that they could happen. Not all of them together, but I think so. Jaden is already widely considered one of the best perimeter defenders in the league. Like that to me is not ridiculous, and it's hard to measure too. So you could give it to him, say he's top 3, top 5, whatever, and he shot 39.8% from three last year. That could happen. Rudy Gobert is a 3-time defensive player of the year. Obviously, his potential is being defensive player of the year. That could happen. The Cat MVP thing, obviously the bar to beat is Jokic, right? Because you know that what Jokic is going to give you every single night. Last year, Embiid went out and just shot an absurd volume. He shot 20 times a game, put up 33 points per game, led the league in scoring. If Cat shot 20 times per game, I think he could put up those numbers. He certainly has the rebounding numbers. He certainly has the same assist kind of numbers as Embiid. If he shot a high percentage at 20 shots per game, yeah, he could put up Embiid numbers. And then the key is, are you winning? Because the Sixers were winning. Could the Wolves win with those type of numbers from Cat? I just think that you got to spread the ball around too much to Ant and to, Conley, and McDaniels needs his shots, and Nas. Like there's just a lot of people that need to get fed on this team. So Cat's not going to win MVP in my mind, but there is maybe a scenario where a couple guys get hurt. Cat has to shoot every night and he scores 33 a game. That would be the path for that.
So here's where I think too. One quick one before we get out of here. I think what he's saying for Jaden McDaniels, and now I'm kind of understanding. If Jaden McDaniels is one of the top defenders, not best, but maybe top, and I love Reggie's, what did you call it, Reggie? Most improved. Yeah, I like that. So if Jaden McDaniels can guard, and here's the people to guard, because Ant can't always guard Devin Booker. You're going to have to switch off. You're going to have to if he can be in some kind of switch with Jaden McDaniels, where Jaden McDaniels can guard Devin Booker, he can guard Kevin Durant, he can guard Klay Thompson. He can guard Paul George, and so on and so forth down that line. James Harden. If Jaden McDaniels becomes that long type of defender guy like a Tayshaun Prince, if you think about Tayshaun Prince's role with the Pistons, he gave you offense every once in a while, but he was a lockdown defender when you needed him. When you needed a block shot, when you needed a 3 contested, when you need, if Jaden McDaniels can be that. And because people have been talking about people winning championships. The Pistons, like Ben Wallace is in the Hall of Fame and scored 6 points a game in his career. Like if you can become some type of create a role, Dennis Rodman in the Hall of Fame. Not saying Jaden McDaniels be a Hall of Famer. Come on now. I'm not preposterous. But if you can create a role like Tayshaun Prince and like these guys, I think that's where Ant's going. So who knows? And maybe this is a challenge. Maybe this whole conversation to Grady was a challenge to his team too. Like, dude, I know we can be good. Let's go do this. But we got to move on to this Twins talk. Really quick, fellas. The Twins, like I said, man, they're not in first place anymore. It's very sad. It's unfortunate. Now the fans are going to have to sit through this roller coaster the rest of the way because it's going to be first place, second place, first place, second place, first place, second place, third place, second place, first place. And then what we don't want, though, is them to drop to fifth place. I don't think that can happen because the other teams suck. But what's your prediction, Reggie and Sam? And one of you take it first. Let's start with you, Reggie. What's your prediction the rest of the way for the Twins?
I think this team has been way too inconsistent. If they make some trades or something like that, which I know a lot of fans probably aren't too fond of because they have given up quite a bit of prospects already. I think you look at the Cincinnati Reds and what they're doing, and you're like, man, they have a couple guys who would be pretty good on the Twins roster right now. Oh, yeah, they could have been because they were Twins at one point. And so I just think we probably see what happened last year happen again. Maybe the Twins go on a little bit of a streak again, and win some games. And I think they're slugging it out with Cleveland to the very end, and maybe Cleveland, just with their experience of winning the division and their veteran leadership with Tito as well, I can see them kind of pulling it out in the division.
16 games until the trade deadline, and they're all against middling to bad teams. Starting tonight with Oakland, worst team in the league. Oakland, Seattle, Chicago, Seattle, Kansas City. The Twins are going to either just tank this stretch and really fall out of all hope, or, which I think is going to happen, I think the Twins will beat up on some of these bad teams. I think they go 10-6 in this stretch, and then they add a big bat at the deadline and try to bolster this lineup in some way. I also think that someone's going to get on the chopping block here along the way. Gallo maybe is going to get DFA'd. Max Kepler is going to get DFA'd. I think that one semi-big name is going to be gone from this lineup because they're just not pulling their weight, because the Twins need to get aggressive with some of these moves. They can't tread water anymore. They need to make progress now. So I think that we're going to see some more aggressive moves from this manager and front office.
Cardinals are selling. They got some guys.
Goldschmidt?
That was my point, Sam. I was going to say is you look at who Cleveland plays. They have a tougher role right now with the Pirates, the Phillies, and then they have the forgot who they have tonight, but they have a hard one tonight. Is it Rangers? Yeah, I think Rangers. And so the Guardians have I think it's Rangers. I thought I looked that up. And so they have a tougher stretch where you're dead on. The Twins having an easier stretch with the Mariners, and like Seattle, okay. But like these other teams the Twins have, it's almost like a gift. It's almost like coming out of the All-Star. Like, sorry, we didn't make your guys an All-Star team. Sorry, you didn't make it. Yeah, because the Guardians, they have the Rangers. Yep. So the Rangers, that's a tough one for them. But with the Twins, I mean, when you look at the Twins games, I'm looking at the ones they lost. You look at the way they lost to the Orioles. If I just lost 15-2, and that's the last thing I remember, I'm in the weight room. Like, I'm at the Diamond. Like, I'm pissed off. Like, I'm coming out to this game against the Athletics. I don't care how bad the Athletics are. I want to show people that we are not as bad as the last game we put out there, because you can say it was mental. You can say guys were already on vacation because they were getting ready for All-Star break. Whatever you want to call that 15-2 loss, bottom line is you got punched in the mouth and you did nothing. You didn't even go home and tell your daddy. You just got punched in the mouth and you just walked home and went to your room and closed the door. Like, you didn't try to fight back. So that's what I want to see. After you come out your room, what do you do to this next team? Are you going to say, you know what? Like, they're going to come out the room like Creed, and he's about to fight Drago for the second time. Like, Drago beat Creed into the ground, broke his ribs, and then Creed went out to the desert and just went to work, came back swole and whooped Drago. That's what I want to see. Like, are the Twins going to be Creed, or are they going to show up like Mikey from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out or something? Like I just wonder what they're going to be. But we got another fun one. We got the top 5 list. We got to talk about these top 5 lists, man. Everybody loves them. It's just about popularity. We know that. Justin Jefferson and some of the guys have bought this up with MVP voting. There's also some beef about some of these lists. Like, I love lists because there's always beef. I don't know if you saw Shanti Samuels, Darrelle Revis, and Sauce Gardner are beefing now over the best corners in the league. Like, there's all this beef. And so with our list, hopefully nobody gets mad at Reggie, and we don't have A-Rod tweeting at Reggie like, are you kidding me right now? Like, and trying to beef with Reggie, because, you know what I mean? Like, A-Rod, calm down, man. We love you. Like, but J-Lo is gone, so it's unfortunate, but we love you. But we got to jump into the top 5 trendiest athletes or coaches or ownership. Because, I mean, there's some flashy owners. Like, if you were in Texas, it's definitely Jerry Jones. Like, come on now. You're in Houston. You're in Texas. You're in Dallas. It's Jerry Jones. So I don't know if the Wilfs or Mark Lowry but we're going to start this list. But, hey, we got one more sponsor we have to pay love to, because this is the one I love the most right now, at least, because I'm in Iowa. So that's why I love them the most, because I'm in Iowa and I can get on my phone. Sam, what you got?
It's FanDuel Sportsbook, the FanDuel Sportsbook app. And Ron, you can get on and you can bet baseball. You can put together a home run parlay. Who's going to hit a home run tonight? What does your gut tell you? You can do like 5 different players to hit a home run tonight, and you can win a fortune at FanDuel. And you could do so with one of their new promotions. Bet 20, get 200 back in bonus bets, or get 10 times your first bet amount in bonus bets. So it could be bet 10, get 100, bet 5, get 50. If you're taking your first swing at betting on FanDuel, you can check that out today. Go to FanDuel.com/lockedon, FanDuel.com/lockedon. It's a great app to use. It's really easy. You get paid instantly when you win. So there's just no better place to bet MLB than at FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, and it's the official partner of Major League Baseball. FanDuel.
Yeah, Sam, because I'm on here right now, and I'm looking at this Detroit Tigers versus Seattle Mariners. That looks like worth bet. I don't know. That looks like I'm trying to find an easy one though that gives me a guarantee. But I might put my first bet on baseball. I've never bet on baseball ever in my life, but I might have to take this Twins one. I'm looking at these parlays though, the same game parlays, the home run builder parlay to record a hit. That seems like an easy one. But this is baseball. It's never easy in baseball. So people, if you're looking to have some fun, because I really don't watch a ton of baseball. I watch the Twins every once in a while because I have to. But this is going to make me watch some of these games and keep track of them because I want to see if any of these guys get a hit. It's $5. Come on now. What can make your day more fun than picking $5? Oh, yeah, that's really the app there, people. In case you think I'm joking, I'm really on the app. So it's that simple. I jumped on the app. I said I was in Iowa. It's letting me bet. I might have to put this on the home run. I got to see who's the Twins. Whoever the Twins pitcher is, he's going to give us a home run. So I got to find out who they're playing, and I might have to do that one. But sorry for the Twin slander, people. But we got to jump into the next topic. Hey, last fun one. Top 5 list. Let's make this quick, but let's make this fun. Sam, what you got? Who's your top 5 trendiest?
Yep. So I'm looking at this as a snapshot in time. Who right now is trending in Minnesota sports, the biggest names around the sports landscape? I think that number 1 with a bullet, it's got to be Justin Jefferson. Number 2, the guy that we just talked about who signed the massive contract extension, Anthony Edwards. And then who am I putting after Ant? I think it's his teammate Nas. Everybody loves Nas right now. Did you see the Jeopardy contestant who named their cat after Nas Reed? That went viral. Nas is obviously trending. Number 3. Number 4, the man in the documentary, Kirk Cousins. He's getting a lot of PR points right now for that doc. And number 5, I'm going to go A-Rod. This guy is everywhere. I see him on Fox's baseball coverage. I see him doing social media for the Timberwolves. He's juggling a lot of balls, wearing a lot of hats right now. A-Rod comes in number 5, almost the majority owner of the Minnesota Timberwolves. Just one more year, and he will take over for Glenn Taylor. So that's my top 5.
What you got, Reggie?
Mine is pretty similar. So I got Justin Jefferson number 1. Just that top 5 list is really, having him trending this week. And then Kirk Cousins too, because quarterback has got him trending. Man, a lot of people showing a lot of love to Kirk Cousins this week. I think he's winning over some people with his, I wouldn't even call it his performance, his just him being himself. And that being on display in Netflix. Number 3, Anthony Edwards just signed that big deal. I saw on Saturday there was a plane flying around downtown with the Anthony Edwards banner. I took a picture of it. It was kind of cool. 4's A-Rods for all the things that you said, Sam. I was in North Carolina for the 4th, and he was doing the K-Rod cast for the Sunday Night Baseball. And he's walking around the Timberwolves facility like, this is the basketball court, blah, blah, blah. Just, I'm like, dude, you're broadcasting a baseball game and you're showing off, your new Timberwolves swag. And then number 5 is Cat for me, because this dude has managed to be in all of these conversations. It seems like every week, even this week, when he was asked at NBA Con, like, all the bigs that you all have and the people that are doubting that you all can do it. He's just like, just watch us. Just watch us. So he just continues to dominate in the headlines.
Well, my list is exactly the same as Reggie's pretty much, except for my number 5. So I'm going to go Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins, Anthony Edwards, A-Rod, minus J-Lo. And I'm going to put PJ Fleck at number 5. You guys have not talked about PJ Fleck. Although he's not dominating the media, I will say his team is starting to get buzz right now. Whether it's manufactured because of all the training camp stuff they have going, all the photo shoots they have going, the Chris Hoffman-Bell, Brevin Spanford doing the old what was that movie, Lethal Weapon photo shoot where they're running it back and I'm too old for this shit. Like it gives me all the feels of a team with Ethan Kaliakmanis. And I don't know if you guys have noticed this in the media. Ethan Kaliakmanis is quiet. Ethan Kaliakmanis has gone 0 dark 60. He's gone 0 dark 30. He's gone 0 dark. I think he's number 8 right now. I don't know what number he's wearing, but he's gone 0 dark on this. Maybe he comes out the tunnel and he's wearing number 1 this year. I don't know what Ethan's going to do, but Ethan Kaliakmanis has gone dark. He's not taking a ton of pictures. He's not posting a ton of crap. He is really taking this QB1 role seriously, and he's like the backup now. He was the backup to Tanner Morgan. So I got to put PJ Fleck in there because PJ Fleck right now, out and about. He threw the first pitch out with the Twins. He's taking pictures with Rocco Baldelli at the game. He's out, like he's getting ready for the state fair. PJ Fleck is out there and about, but he is a college team and a Big Ten team and a Big Ten conference that has a ton of star coaches now. And I think that's what's going to happen. Can PJ Fleck put himself in the echelon of Big Ten coaches? So I'm going to put PJ Fleck up there. Maybe I'm biased. Probably I'm biased. I know I'm biased, but I'm still going to do it. PJ Fleck's in my top 5. Great show today, fellas. Hey, everybody, remember, SiriusXM. Make sure you download the SiriusXM app. You can get every pitch of the Twins' hometown broadcast. They go off tonight at 8:40 p.m. So you got a lot of time to get on FanDuel. You got 12 hours, 11 hours to get on FanDuel and make some bets because the Twins, first pitch, 8:40 p.m. tonight, and you can catch every single pitch on SiriusXM. Also, Amazon Fire, Roku, wherever you get your podcasts as well, iTunes, iHeartMedia, please just download, like, and subscribe. And then YouTube. This is where you can see all the magic happen, all the laughs, all the faces, understand who we are. Go to YouTube. All you need is the email address. You can like and subscribe there as well. And then you'll get all the updates every time we have a new video. But I'm Ron Johnson. That's Reggie Wilson. That's Sam Ekstrom. Luke Inman hopefully will be upright at some point. He couldn't make it today. He's laying flat on his back somewhere. We love you, Luke. You guys have a great weekend, people.